Welcome to the Gospel Project. What's going on, guys? Casanova here, your 7-foot connection. Everybody doing all right, I hope? Yeah, long time no see, it seems like, don't it? If I hadn't dropped a video in a couple days, it'd always be like, man, I'd be sitting here missing y'all guys like y'all live next door. Yeah, man. So look, I let Roy have him a little freedom today. I left everybody up. I learned that to keep all the roosters constantly, I let them have a day. And now tomorrow I let Einstein have him a day. And then after that, I let the girls all get out and let them run loose. So, man, I had a lot of little things going on here lately. Y'all know I got a full-time job, so I work all day long, and and then I come home and try to take care of things going on around the house. And then on top of that, we got our street ministry going on. And I've been real reluctant. To kind of record anything that I do ministry-wise for our little street ministry off camera. Like the prayer walk and go out and just try to minister to people whatever way I can. And I'm trying to get to where we can be able to feed the homeless around here. I don't know why, man. It's just, it's good to go out and give them the word. I mean, it's, that's the whole purpose of it. And it's good to just go out and fellowship in your community, But man, I just love to feed people, And yeah, so I'm praying that we can get there and be able to do that all the time, I would like to be able to get to a place where I can do that like at least once a week, every week forever. And so let me share this with you guys. A lot of things that I do around here, man, like I'm working towards. I decided that I want to get to where we can do full-time farming. And we also partnered with Brother Tim at IG Farms to be able to give away $1 million in meat, and poultry, and whatever. And so I'm trying to work towards getting to that. I really want to do that. So y'all be praying with me, man, that God will just bless us to get to the position to be able to go in the full-time farm. So yeah, man. Look, so I ain't gonna have a very long video. I might actually throw a few clips in of the little street ministry that we do, and just so you guys can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. Prayer walking and message delivering and fellowshipping with people. So I might throw a few little clips in. But man, y'all meet me on the front porch, man, so we can talk. Let's go have a glass of tea together, and I'll meet y'all out there. Well, top of the morning to you, everybody is. So I was out walking and talking, prayer walking with a guy. And so one of the most common things you'll hear from people, like they be like, oh man, I ain't ready for this. I ain't perfect. I'm still working things out, in myself. Man, it can't be farther from the truth. You know what I mean? Like, it's like people think that they have to clean their life up to come to God, when in actuality it's the exact opposite. You come to God and let him clean your life up. That's how it really works. And then also, we Christian people, we be the main ones that kind of discourage it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. And that's the truth, though, man. And so I try to talk to the brother, and everything go pretty well. But so I laid up the other night. Kimberly can tell you, I laid up. So
probably about till midnight.
Yeah, since going through the Word and just studying, man, and just thinking about the things that these disciples went through. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if a lot of you guys know this, man. These people that God used to write this word, man, they were us. These were people who made mistakes and, bad decisions or whatever. I mean, you thieves and murderers and all this stuff, man. You know, the only thing that God didn't use was somebody who was already perfect. He didn't use none of them. You know what I mean? None of the people that you would look into the church and say, "Hey, now that guy got it all together." And I'm almost willing to submit something like this. If you go to church and you see a person and they look like to you they got it all together, y'all pray for that guy, because he is the worst off than anybody in there. I'm telling you right now. So, but look, that got me to thinking. And see, I know a bunch of you guys, y'all probably already know about, the things that the disciples did prior to meeting Jesus. Or even, a lot of y'all probably even know about the things that they did while Jesus was on earth with them. They were learning, from Jesus' example. I'm not talking about that right now. What I want to talk about is what's seldom talked about. I want to talk about the mistakes that these guys were making after Jesus came and died for them. You listen, when me and you, we make a mistake or something like that, it's all good. We people, you know what I mean? And people gonna make mistakes, and that's okay. It ain't nothing wrong with making mistakes, because that's what you learn from, man. But yeah, sure. We're not talking about that though. I'm talking about, imagine you personally having spent time with Jesus. I'm talking about like you seen the crucified Jesus. You put your hand into the holes in the nails when he was resurrected. You were actually performing miracles when, like Peter, you walk by and somebody healed from your shadow, or I'm talking about these type miracles like that. Like, these are the miracles you performing. So surely you got it all together, right? No. Listen, let me tell you. And Peter is, I'm telling y'all, Peter is the worst offender I know of. Because, I love Peter because he didn't have it all together, man. But he strived. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, in the book of Galatians, chapter 2, right? We got Peter and we got Paul. Now, no need to say that, what Paul was doing before he became a Christian, right? How you doing? So what Paul was doing before he became a Christian. He was persecuting the church itself before, Jesus came to him personally and turned his life around. But yeah, so we got Peter and we got Paul here. And they were fellowshipping with a group of Gentiles, non-Jews at the time. And so as long as it was just them, the Jews, the Gentiles and Peter and them, Peter would fellowship with them and eat and, have a good time. And then the minute a few more Jews show up, Peter went to getting religious on them. Oh, I don't deal with them like that. I don't eat with them like. Look, y'all think I'm making this up? Y'all look at Galatians chapter 2, verse 11. And Paul had to look. These are two saved men. They're not just saved. These are actual witnesses of the physical Jesus. You know what I mean? And they had to argue. Really, Paul had to tell this dude off, because he was just like, hold up, man. Now, how come you, being a Jew, you like to live like a Gentile, but then as soon as the other Jews come, you want to go back to living like a Jew and put unnecessary rules on these Gentiles? You get what I'm saying? Now, if this was just a preacher, just some dude who heard about Jesus and now he's spreading the word, you'd understand a little bit more at least. That still ain't right, but you'd understand. But we talking about Peter. You know what I mean? Peter was, he got religious. He was faking the funk for him. And I won't say that he was faking the funk for the Jews, or I won't say he was faking the funk for the Gentiles. But the problem is he was doing it, and Paul had to tell him all to his face. And I love that, that God had that recorded in the word, because nothing God put in his word is for an accident. That's a reminder to us today. You know what I mean? Even though you might be saved, even though, you might be, living righteously as best you can. Don't forget that the Bible says our righteousness is as filthy rags. But, man, you not above rebuke, and I'm not above rebuke. And that don't mean just because here's the reason I wanted to talk about this all, because I get a lot of comments and people, they just like, hey man,
I messed up the other day. And to that, I'll say, hey, you messed up. All right, get up, dust yourself off, and let's get back on this walk. There you go. Because I'm like I'm saying, I'm using this scripture so that you can see that if Peter, who being that close of a witness to Jesus, who was, performing literal miracles, who was casting out demons and things like that right there, if he was subject to being fallible, then it's possible for us to stumble. But what is not possible for us to do is to stay stumbled. You understand what I mean? Because you may slip, you may fall, but don't let the devil make you think that because you made a mistake that you no longer worthy to walk this walk. Look, I'm not encouraging you to make no mistake, but I'm saying if you make one, you make it. You ask God for forgiveness. Hey, maybe even admit your fault to the brothers, to who you wrong. Hey, look, I was wrong for this. I shouldn't have said this, or I shouldn't have did this. And, prayerfully they'll forgive you. But if they don't, you move on and you keep pressing, because this walk right here, it wasn't given to the swift. You would think that a race, I want you to run this race, and I'm picking you because you're fast. I'm picking you because you're diligent. Man, you just got to stay in there. And let me think of another good example. Oh, yeah, there we go with Paul. Look, Paul and Barnabas, right, in the book of Acts, chapter number 15, and it was something like somewhere around about the 32nd, 34th verse in there, somewhere about the 36th verse, 36 through 41. 41 is the end of the chapter. About around 36, you'll see. So they had got into such a heated debate that these dudes decided to go their separate ways, because Paul wanted to bring this guy. No. I was about to misquote the word. Paul didn't want to bring Barnabas. Paul didn't want to bring him because he had left one time. And Paul was like, nah, I don't trust this guy. I don't want him with me. You know what I mean? But, the other disciples, they were just like, well, look, let's take him, and let's go out on this mission. And so they ended up, as a matter of fact, the Bible called that the argument that they was having, said it was sharp. I can't think of very other many instances, if any, that word was used to describe a disagreement amongst brothers in the Bible. I can't think of no other time that was used. So that it had to be a pretty heated debate for it to say that it was a sharp contention. You know what I mean? And that thing got to such a point that they just like, you know what? Let's just agree to disagree. You go do your thing, and we'll go do our thing. And look, these, like I said, man, these are people who laid their eyes on Jesus, who have performed miracles, who witnessed the crucifixion, maybe, and I would even go even further for Paul, because Jesus visited him, and he had a mighty encounter that left him blind afterwards. You know what I mean? So people who witness Jesus like exponentially more than me and you will ever get to witness, you know what I mean? To the point to where it was just like, we'll put them up on a pedestal to where we say, you'll think that, Paul and them, Peter and them, these disciples, they wasn't sinning no more. God worked through people, man. He worked through people like you. That's the people that God used. Did you know that? Like, man, sometimes I believe this right here. You'll be going through something, right? And somebody will come, your family will be trying to comfort you and you ain't hearing it. Maybe the people you work with be trying to comfort you and you ain't hearing it. And then all of a sudden, some random stranger just come and say a little bit of nothing that got to do with nothing, and it touch you in the soul. You know what I mean? Like, man, it's going to be all right, bro. I believe you're going to be all right. And coming from that person, for some reason, it comforted you. God worked through people like that, man. That's what's God been working through people since the beginning of the time, man. And you guys, man, I believe that this word was for somebody out here that's watching this, because like I said, man, we get a lot of things in the comments and emails about different situations that a lot of y'all facing, and man, for whatever reason, a lot of the ones who come to me like that, y'all be like, look, I'm facing this, or I'm going through this right now. It seems like it always be something that I myself done went through. You know what I mean? And it's just I just love it. I love to be able to fellowship with you guys. I love to be able to talk with y'all like this. Y'all see, look, when I be talking about this stuff, it ain't like I don't feel like I'm preaching or nothing. I just feel like I'm talking to some friends, you know. And y'all see, at every moment, I be about to bust out and laugh, because I just got this joyful spirit, man. And I just enjoy it so much. Like when I'm sitting right here and I'm looking toward this camera and I'm talking to you, I don't feel like I'm recording the video for YouTube. I feel like I'm actually talking to y'all. You know what I mean? And when I'm looking at y'all, that's why I try to take the time to answer every comment and all this right here. Because, man, I feel like y'all my peoples. Y'all my friends and family, and, you know. And then a lot of people who watch this, I actually do know personally. And some people I met out on, you know, on the prayer walk, or, you know, out in the field, and just, you know, I was like, hey, look, we on YouTube here. And hey, Miss Carolyn is a friend of Kimberly's that work with Miss Carolyn. She's just a sweet soul, man. And she actually helping us to get some volunteer work going on. Because we try to, you know, from the storm video, we try to volunteer to do a little some work right here in the community, because, you know, we see some volunteer work. But look, that's just an extra chance you can get right here to spread a little bit of Jesus. You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll volunteer. You got to listen to us though. That's how we getting paid. We getting paid in information. Yeah. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it, man. I ain't want to hold you guys too long, and I might have to slide a little video in here, because y'all know how when I end these videos, I always go like that right there. Corbin loved to do it. So I might put it clear. He be like, can I do it? So I might let him in the video. Yeah, man. But just the reminder of what we were just talking about. Man, even the people that God hung around when he walked this earth, those people, man, who managed to fellowship with Jesus personally, even those guys, man, didn't have it all together. You're not going to get it all together. And I also remember that the people who you encouraging to come visit your church, or the people that you witnessing to, man, don't expect them to get it all together at once. You know what I mean? And because we ain't all going to get it. And look, because if it was possible for you to go on this walk and do it perfectly, if it was possible for you to get saved and to never commit another sin, I ain't say practice sin, I say commit. But if it was possible for you to get to this, to get saved and never sin again, I'm finna tell you something that you might not like to hear. You wouldn't need Jesus, because then you could just make a sacrifice and never sin again and make your way in heaven. But the fact that Jesus had to die for us and do what with his blood? He had to cover us in it. See, because he could have just dipped us in it and we'd have been all right if we could get it all together on our own. But the fact that we can't do our own is the reason that we have to be covered in his blood, because we continuously need to be washed. That's why Paul said, I die daily. Daily, Casanova got to get up out that bed and die, because the minute Casanova get the reins, I'm back to the old Casanova. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I hope that did something for somebody, and whoever needed to hear it, I hope you heard it. And maybe one of your friends or something need to hear it. Just send them on over. They ain't got to subscribe or like or nothing. Just let them listen a little bit. Just let them talk. Let's talk together. You know what I mean? And, man, I appreciate hanging out with you guys, man. Y'all, thank you for coming to see old Casanova. Let's have a sip of our tea. I'm drinking water, but y'all don't know this ain't tea. Very delicious. I love water. Yep, but everybody, we all subject to fallacy. And but man, Jesus died for us so that even in our mistakes, you know what I mean, we'll be covered. But that don't give you the right to keep on making them. When you make a mistake, you learn from it so that you don't have to commit that same mistake. You don't have to make that same mistake. Let us move on from those sins that so easily beset us. You can do it. Let's do it together. I enjoyed you guys. Y'all come see me again. Oh, before I go, so the next couple videos, guys, we probably gonna go on a little adventure. We'll go see some. It's a real surprise. A very beautiful place that me and Kimberly like to frequent, and a few more little things we're gonna have going on. So you know, if a lot of you guys, I said that because a lot of you guys really like, you know, for us to come out here and just fellowship right here on the porch. Have a good talk, and I like it too, you know what I mean? Like I said, I love hanging out with you guys. But in the next couple of videos, we might do a little something different here and there. And, you know, I might stop and interject one of our talks, or I might not, you know what I'm saying? Man, we got a long way to go, so, y'all bear with me. And let's just hang out. Let's have some fun and try to enjoy this walk, man. This ain't no miserable life, you know what I mean? This ain't like God just put a bunch of rules on us, expect us to live by them, go in the house, shut the door, and don't never come back outside. Man, God put this creation here for you to enjoy it. Let's go out here and do it. Gospel Project. I love it.
Can I take that?
Go ahead. Do it one more time.
You missed.